Guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you're here. Today, we're going to talk about the first Hinderer that came into my collection, how it came into my collection, because I swore I'd never have any interest in a Hinderer knife, and what I think about this Hinderer. Newsflash, I like it quite a bit, but we'll get to that. If you guys stick around, I'll walk you through it, give you some size comparisons, give you some dimensions, some weights, and just give you my overall thoughts of Hinderer knives in general and this XM-18 3-inch Skinner blade. Guys, before we get started, I am going to ask, if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button down below and that bell notification icon next to it. They're both really important to the channel's growth. The notification icon, after you subscribe, actually lets YouTube know that you're a human who's actually interested in knife content, and it'll help my videos get seen by more people. But this knife here started out as one of my good friends, Brother Dark Gravity, here in Alabama. He had kind of always liked Hinderers, always had a Hinderer, and thought that I should really check one out. Well, we went to the Nashville Knife Show. This was 2 years ago. And we each brought our knives. A to Z EDC, Dark Gravity, and me went. And we all brought boxes of knives to kind of go through and let each other check out knives in the park garage after, we'd gone to the little blade show up there. New York City Knife Show is what it was at the time. And so I checked this little knife out because I didn't know Hinderer made anything of a smaller variety. And this I actually felt was a small, medium-sized knife that wasn't overbuilt, kind of like I thought or had seen Hinderers of past to be. So fast forward, about a year later, we're back at the custom knife show, or right around that time. He told me I really needed to check this knife out again, and he told me I should probably carry it. This was right before Blade Show last year, so this would have been June of 2022. And he said, you really need to check this knife out. It had, at the time, it had a dark earth G10 scale. It's wearing a Micarta black scale now, only because I haven't been able to find a battle black 3-inch tie scale. That'll come to the story from this year when I was at the Hinderer booth and what we talked about, which was black titanium 3-inch XM-18 scales. So anyway, long story short, I agreed and I took Dark Gravity up on it, and I put this knife in my pocket. I carried it for a week, took it to Blade Show, carried it. It was one of the knives I carried at Blade Show, used it. He told me, don't just baby it. I use my knives, use the knife, really get an idea of what a Hinderer is, and tell me what you think. So long story short, I use this knife. It was perfect size for me. I've got a medium to large size hand, and if I use the full handle, I've got a full grip on the knife. I've also got this sharpening choil that for me, with this Skinner blade, doubles and does a great job as a secondary choil. So I choke up on this knife when I use it. Fits my hand perfectly. The action blew me away. I wasn't expecting it to be so glassy smooth. It is on the tri-way pivot system, so I've got it operating on bearings now, but it can also run on phosphorus bronze washers, and it can also run on nylon washers. Comes with all of them. The 3-inch, I haven't changed out any of the hardware, have done no mods to the blade. This is the Battle Black, the Skinner blade with the Battle Black titanium handle. It came with a tan G10 handle that I still have, or scale. I added this textured Hinderer black micarta scale because I did want it to kind of be as matchy-matchy as I could get. And the story is, guys, this knife has been fantastic for me. It's been such a winner, it changed my impression of a brand altogether. So I thought Hinderers were clunky. I thought they were overbuilt. I didn't think they were for me. I didn't think that they had much action. I just didn't get it, right? I knew they were a made in America company. I'd heard good things about them. I knew they had a great warranty, but at the same time, I just did not experience one. So Brother Dark Gravity and I got back together, and I really didn't want this knife to go back. And I asked him how much he was in love with the knife, and he did admit that it was a little small for him, and that was one of his motivations for letting me hang on to it, because he was trying to sucker me into buying it. I'm just kidding. He would never do that. He wanted to give me the opportunity, and he did. He even set up what I would call a bro sizzle plan, where he let me pay this knife off, which he's just an amazing dude. And he even encouraged me at the time to get another knife that I really wanted, the Jaeger, instead of paying him off, which I should have done before I got the Jaeger, but he was very insistent. Long story short, he's a fantastic guy. This is a fantastic knife. And now I have many different Hinderers, and I love all of them. And when I go to Blade Show, like I just got back from, I spend time over at the Hinderer booth. I'm interested in what they're doing. I'm interested in their knives. Not everything speaks to me. But at the same time, they are a USA maker who I think is doing things right. I think they could do things better. I think everybody could do things better. God knows I could do better. But I like the brand. I like the knives. I guess you could say I'm a fan. So, before I just incessantly continue rambling, let's see how long and how big this blade is, this knife, compared to other knives in my collection. So we'll put it up next to the Cold Steel 4MAX, and we will see that it is much smaller than the Cold Steel 4MAX. We will put it up next to the Civivi Baby Banter, and we will see that it is bigger than the Civivi Baby Banter. We will put it up next to the Benchmade Bug Out. And we will see that it is right about the same size as the Benchmade Bug Out in length. And then the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, if you got that in your collection. It's about a good inch, inch and a half smaller than the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Let me find my Javon promotional free tape measure that I can read. And it'll tell us that this knife comes in right at 7 inches with a 3-inch blade, 4-inch handle. That grip that I was reaching up towards is 3.5 inches to right here. So that is 3.5 inches. If I measure it to that choil, it's going to come in right at 4.5 inches, right under 4.5 inches right here. And it doesn't split my fingers uncomfortably. It just does a really good job. Let's grab Brother Panic's calipers here. There we go. I don't know why it took so long for that to zero out. So the blade thickness on this, it's not going to be razor thin like a TRM, but it's 0.1475. Up at the tip, which is also pretty robust, 0.0955. And then if we get behind the edge here, 0.0295. Handle thickness with the micarta, 0.4270. So again, I would say it kind of falls in that class of gentleman's folder. It's 20 CV, titanium and micarta, drop shut action, has a flipper tab, has thumb studs, comes in right at 3.35 ounces. So 3-inch knife, 3.35 ounces, made in the USA. I think it's a fantastic knife, so much so that I've picked up several other XM-18s. I've got a 3-inch Warncliffe, and this is a 3.5-inch XM-18 Spanto. So just to give you guys a size comparison, just to see the mini nature, this is a 3.5-inch blade that's a little different, where this is the 3-inch blade. And you can see that the 3-inch XM-18 is indeed a much smaller knife. This is a full-size knife in my hand. I love it. But the XM-18 3-inch is a knife that I carry on the daily. It doesn't take up a lot of room in my pocket. It's actually a little bit smaller, even though it's a tiny bit longer, but a little bit smaller than my half track, because a half track has thicker stock. So really like this knife. I would encourage anybody, before you cast judgment on any knife maker or knife company, and you've held a knife, you might not like it. That is cool. Not everything's going to be your jam. All I'm saying is don't give up on something. Because had I not carried this knife for 3, 4, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, and continue to use it, I might not have drawn the connection or grown the connection with the brand, with the knife, and I would have missed out. Because I really do think this was a great find, this little 3-inch Skinner in 20 CV. The other Hinderers that have found their way in my collection would not have done that had it not been for me experiencing this knife, taking a second chance on it, and just that would be my ask of you guys. Don't cast judgment on something, and you never know if a knife's gonna really strike your fancy. If it's something you're not sure about and it's a buddy's and you feel comfortable with it, check the knife out, carry it, treat it with care, of course. Don't beat the hell out of it, but see if the knife is something that might grow on you, because some of the best knives that I've got in my collection were not knives that I initially set out to get. It's weird how it happens that way, but I promise you, in my case, it's happened that way. And I promise you, every time I vote by buying a new Hinderer, you can tell that I am invested in them and feel comfortable about their products and like what it is they do. So guys, I just wanted to share that with you on a smaller Hinderer, the 3-inch XM-18 Skinner blade. If you haven't yet, I would ask, if you sat with me this long, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon. Feel free to thumbs up or thumbs down me. Leave a comment to see why I've got super glue on my thumb. Whatever it is, guys, I just ask that you look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.